Mrs. Suck.
Wow.
That is messed up.
What are you doing?
Trying to see everybody on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? We have some new people subscribing to YouTube. Welcome to the family.
I don't think we're on YouTube right now.
It says, well,
Yes,
okay.
you are.
Thank you.
It's
I
just-
see the
it's like
person.
loading.
What's up, people? YouTube, say hello. I won't offer anything if you say hello.
camera's more on you
That
than me.
didn't
What
work
is that?
yesterday. It needs to be on me.
Let's move a little bit there.
What's up, Mike? How are you doing? Good morning. It's super nice outside. I need to get outside. So yes. Do you feel blah? I know, Brian. You said you were kind of feeling kind of blah. So we were looking at an article.
Missed it, you know.
I know.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Sorry. It started off by saying at first, this writer, I didn't recognize the symptoms that we all had in common. So many of us are going to be feeling this once you hear this. Friends mentioned that they were having trouble concentrating. Some colleagues reported that even with vaccines on the horizon, they weren't super excited about 2021. Anybody feel that? I know I feel it. A family member was staying up late to watch The National Treasure again, even though she knows the movie by heart. And instead of bouncing out of bed at 6 a.m., I was laying there until 7, playing words with friends. And so the author's saying it wasn't burnout. We still had energy. It wasn't depression. We didn't feel hopeless. We just felt somewhat joyless and aimless. It turns out there's a name for that. So if you can resonate so far, here it goes. The name is languishing.
You're always languishing.
Always. Well, no, not always.
You should
And
go
when
there
we
and languish.
When we talked about it earlier on the show, between 6 and 7, many people were texting in. I'm talking about many people saying, man, I'm glad you're talking about this. Can you make this a podcast? Man, this puts a name into how I'm feeling. And as the more and more we talked about it, I kind of recognized, like, man, that's where I'm at. And many that joined the conversation were connecting it to 2020. We mentioned the pandemic, but I think it's like all of 2020 creates kind of this. For me, if we're gonna connect it to 2020 and pandemic, it's the in-between feeling. Like, I'm sick of quarantine, pandemic, all of that, but like, I'm done, but we're not really done. So it's that question feeling.
Is that are you languishing now in the pandemic?
Right now?
Well, I mean, right now.
Like right now?
No, like just, have you felt that?
I have. But for me, I don't think it's all just, I can put it all on pandemic. I think life, for me, is creating some of that. You said you resonated, but you always got problems. So even when you said I'm languishing, I was like, dude, I don't know. That may just be you. That might just be a problem you have just because you Brian. Really? You're not going to get real? Can you get real for us? You've been feeling this. Okay, wow.
I'm languishing right now with this one.
Do you feel that? Do you feel kind of scattered brain?
You're
how does
scattered
it manifest? How does it manifest in you for you?
Hey, well, hold on. Click on the. Can we see who's watching right now? I want to see if that
Tammy's
person's here.
on. What's up, Tammy?
Like when it goes up to the, you see the 20 up there in by the top?
Yeah.
Click on that. Can we see who it is?
Oh, you can see that? You can't see that.
Can you see that, Kelly?
No. Lori, what's up? David, what's up? Tammy says, I spilled coffee on my work laptop.
Ooh.
Seems to be working so far. Say a prayer. I didn't ruin it. I've done that.
One of our favorite moments was when she spilled her coffee all over everything and yelled.
Look, Stasha says, what's up on YouTube? Look, that works better. Yesterday, I offered something to people on YouTube to say something. Nobody said anything. And Stasha, like, I specifically said, you get nothing for speaking on YouTube. And somebody said
nobody
hi.
wants you to blow a kiss to him.
That's true.
Philip, what's up, Philip? What's up, Miss Diola? Yeah, for me, I think part of the purpose of the conversation earlier was the importance of labeling our feelings and how that alone can do a lot. In fact, psychologists say one of the best strategies for managing emotions is putting a label on it.
Put a label on it. Yeah. It's the idea that I think a lot of us, without realizing it, we don't allow ourselves to feel feelings. We either try to change the way we're feeling and the way others are feeling, or we distract ourselves so that we don't feel it.
Yeah.
And what you really ought to do in a healthy way, and I think in a biblical sense, is give your feeling a name, even if you have to get a feelings chart, get a name for it, call it what it is, and invite Jesus to be with you in that feeling, and allow yourself to feel it. If you're sad, cry. If you're frustrated, kind of yell or something.
Yeah.
If you're annoyed with Jannelle, just tell her.
No,
You know?
no, don't tell me. Go pray about it, and then come back. Then the Lord be like, she is awesome. You need to go back and listen to her.
But it's giving yourself permission. It's like, think about how often you do that with other people, like your kids. Your kids crying, they're sad. You're like, oh, what's wrong? Oh, don't worry, it'll be okay. Come on, here, let's get some candy. Let's feel better. How about you just go with your kid and you say, oh, you're sad. What's wrong? And they tell you, and even if it's some dumb kid thing, like, that's not that sad at all, don't try to change their feelings or tell them it's not sad. You go, oh, I am so sorry. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Let me give you a hug. I feel sad sometimes too.
Candace says, may the Lord shower each one of you with his presence, blessings. She says hello. Chad says good morning. He says he loves the discussion. Mike says, languishing sounds like mourning to me. The lack of leadership in our world and great doubt of what the future holds is unsettling.
I think languishing and mourning are different because you're not necessarily sad when you're languishing. You're just feeling a lack of motivation. You're not feeling super joyful, but you're not depressed. It's as they said in the article, the middle child of mental health.
In fact, in the article it says, listen up to see if this is something you're feeling. Languishing is a sense of stagnation and emptiness. It feels as if you're muddling through your days, looking at your life through a foggy windshield, and it might be the dominant emotion for many of us now in 2021.
Aunt Twee is here. Hi, Aunt Twee. Sarah and I were talking about you yesterday with my in-laws. We're planning our visit to where you live. I don't want to yell out the name of your hometown, but we're planning on that visit, so we can't wait to see you. Aunt Twee's the best. Let me get a picture up here on when I'm gone that week of me and Aunt Twee.
Oh, that's cool.
Aunt Twee and me. Aunt Twee and me.
I know. I always struggle with that.
Did you see Candace Velasquez?
Nidra, what's up, Nidra? Candace, yeah, she said good morning.
I know, but she's got her last name implies she may be
Velasquez, Candace Velasquez. Look at that. She has to put a pronunciation because her name's so awesome.
Aren't you going to stalk her?
Let's visit Candace, your Facebook
I wonder
page.
if Candace speaks Spanish and you guys could talk about me.
¿De dónde eres? Or maybe it's just her husband. She looks Latino.
Wow, what does that mean?
I know. So I knew somebody was going to ask. You look like you look a little bit like my mom, like my mom's side of the family.
What are you trying to say?
That we look awesome. We look amazing.
So
Candace Velasquez. Where are you from, Candace? Or your family? Nidra says, my dad always said, if they have a name for it, that means someone else had it before.
Oh, I like that.
Puerto Rico, represent. Bienvenido
Go ahead.
a mi hermana.
Talk about me in Spanish. Go ahead.
¿Tú hablas español? Si hablas español, tienes que entender que bregar con
Guapo.
este muchacho es
Inteligente.
una misión
La biblioteca.
que cansa.
Baño.
Okay,
La
yes.
ventana.
She got it.
Está nublado?
Yeah. Can't wait to kick it with Brian. Stasha, what are your thoughts? Are you struggling with
Wow, you're pushy.
languishing?
What is this, class? You're calling on someone who doesn't want to be called on?
Stasha.
So, I like what Nidra had to say.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, I like that saying, that if there's a name for it, that means someone else has felt it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you're not alone. That's his way of saying you're not alone.
Yeah, I like that.
I do like adding the twist, though, of like, not just someone has felt that before, but saying, I've felt that before.
I like that.
That's good.
Aunt Twee says she can't wait to see you.
I know.
Lori says no languishing at this end.
Yeah, no problem, Lori. Just don't worry. Janelle's languishing enough for both of us.
I think
Every morning she comes in here, and she's basically like, I'm languishing.
I am.
Sits down. I told myself I'm not gonna huff and puff when I get in here, and I got in here, and I just.
Oh my gosh. I take that. Wow. I'm over here reading texts. My brother's texting me.
Thanks, Jannelle,
and
for focusing on us.
I have a bad reputation in my family of not contacting people back because I'm busy, so I'm trying over here.
You've done that to me. I remember the time when I texted you a while back, and I was concerned I had offended you, and so I texted you like, "Hey, friend, I'm so sorry. You know, I did this. It was wrong. Will you forgive me?" Send. 1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. 4 hours. Like, I feel like maybe about 8 hours later, you're like, what?
God.
Like, you saw the text come in. You saw a heartfelt text.
You don't know if I saw
and
it?
you were like, whatever.
Oh my God.
You did see it.
I did? Oh.
Own it. You saw it, and you just were busy. You didn't stop for 2 seconds.
There are some texts that come in that's like, okay, I gotta think, I gotta sit and answer this. Can you imagine if I would have just responded? Some people do that. Oh, okay, it's cool. And you're like, really? After everything I just texted you, that's your response?
Your time.
I didn't have an Apple phone yet.
You have a stopwatch? Take out a stopwatch.
Yeah.
It's on your phone. Take your stopwatch out. I want to show you something.
All right. Hey Siri, open the stopwatch.
That's how you do that.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
I want you to time me. Are you ready?
Ready, set, go.
Oh, of course I forgive you. Let me text you more later. How long? 4 seconds.
4 seconds.
Do you have 4 seconds? Do you have 4 seconds?
Wow.
Do you?
Oh,
You're so busy that you don't have 4 seconds.
I was probably thinking of sending you more.
You got 2, not 4.
Candace says, Jannelle, good job pronouncing my last name. Only a couple people here in the United States has pronounced it the right way. We know that the U is silent when it's used in between Q and E. Yeah, we know that. Velasquez. Can you teach them the... Yes, thank you. He needs to learn that. Also that the H is muted in Spanish. Thank you. He doesn't know Spanish. Candace. Stasha says, I just have lost a loved one, so more mourning than languishing.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And I know many with last year, all the things that were going on. But do you think for... at least 2021, 2022, also 2020 as well. It's not just...
Oh, you were saying 2022?
Yeah.
Not 2022?
Yeah, right.
Oh, that was fun. Okay.
It's not just pandemic. Because a lot of people it's hard to connect. Like a lot of people that are saying, oh, I'm not languishing, could be and not realize it. Like, for example, somebody texted and was like, I'm not languishing, I'm just sick of people, and went on. I'm like, dude, you sound like...
something.
You struggling.
You may not be languishing, but you got a problem.
Because it sounds passive. And you mentioned it manifests itself in different ways. For some people, it's anger, And maybe it's not the languishing, but there are emotions right now that people are struggling with. What about ways that you've sat in your feelings? That was an interesting point you brought up during the 6 o'clock. Like sit in your feelings. You said as a musician, there's one way you do it. Some people don't know how to do it. Share one way.
Yeah, for me, music is the kind of a language of my soul. I'm a musician, and so I love music, and it kind of gets you at a level. And maybe for you, it's painting or walking or sitting around telling people what to do. Whatever is at the core of your soul.
God.
I would just, let's say I'm feeling sad. I'll go find a place by myself, maybe in the bedroom, turn the lights off, put headphones in, listen to music, and feel sad.
Yeah.
And invite Jesus to be with me in it.
Yeah.
And I specifically listen to worship music that reminds me of God's presence.
Why? You said you've struggled with that throughout most of your life. You're even training your kids, or realize you've been training your kids not to sit in their feelings.
Yeah.
What have you learned has been the benefit of doing that? Because people could be listening to you and be like, really? Listen to sad music when you're sad?
Because when you're feeling a feeling, it's going to come out. And you have a choice whether you want it to squeeze out in an unhealthy way or take care of it in a healthy way. You know how it is? Maybe you're just extra crabby towards your spouse. It's probably because you haven't allowed yourself to feel something.
Yeah.
Or you are yelling at the dog. Or you snap at the kids. That's probably you stuffing your feelings. And it's leaking out.
Yeah, you can also deal with it and because I told you could say, okay, if I'm crabby, let me just go work out. Let me go run. Let me go.
No, but that's avoiding your feelings.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I want you to make the distinction, because somebody could tell you could just be lacking outlets. For example, with my child, I told you, we've got a couple kids, but one in particular struggles with anger. As a mom of boys, I've learned, okay, sometimes for boys, a good outlet could be physical activity.
But that's a distraction.
Right. And so explain that, please.
So Like if I often, what I'll do is, so I'm feeling something that I don't want to feel. I distract myself by getting busy and doing something else.
Yeah.
That's not the same as letting yourself feel it. I can disconnect and kind of recharge, going in the garage and putzing around. That's still me avoiding whatever the issue is. So, I mean, it's a hard thing to do, but the son who's angry, sit him down, go, hey, babe, let's go sit down for a minute. Go sit in your room, I want to be there in just a few minutes. You don't go in and lecture him, you go, why are you angry? What happened?
Yeah.
And then he'll describe something that will probably give you a hint at a different emotion. Oh, your brother called you a name.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what? Not only does it sound like you're angry, I bet that hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurt my feelings. And instead of going, I'm going to talk to your brother, or you got to just toughen up, you say something like, I'm so sorry that happened. Are you okay? It hurts, doesn't it, when people call us names?
You also brought up the importance in when you're sitting in your feelings and learning to do that, not to do it with the goal of fixing it.
Yeah, don't
So what do
fix
you
his
gain?
anger.
Well, like when you sit, you're sad, you're listening to sad music. What does that do for you?
Well, I was reading a book about this, and when you allow yourself to feel the feelings, they allow them to take their course, and then you can move back to healthiness and how you interact with other people. Like, you'll find that there's a point at which, maybe if you're real sad, it's going to take an hour or two for you to get it out, at least for the moment, where you can go and function again.
Yeah. As you have been learning about feelings, and you've been reading that book, you're a little bit more in touch than the average person with where we are as a country and our culture, or whatever. Do you think that we are, maybe it's not the generation, but our culture here or something, where a lot of people don't, like most people don't do that, and maybe that's reflected in a lot of our issues? You know?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are, like, we find this all the time. Let's just say somebody calls me angry, and we talk after the show. Oftentimes, if I talk to them and I'm patient enough, I'll find out that there's something really behind what's going on.
Yeah.
The truth that hurting people hurt people.
Yeah.
And that really their issue is not that they're mad at me. It's that when I said something, it reminded them of, or when I said something, it made them feel embarrassed about, or it's another feeling behind that they're really just hurting.
Yeah.
And if they would just take time to name whatever it is, invite Jesus to be there in whatever that thing is, and feel it, I think they're going to find some relief.
Yeah. Chad says, back to the book, everything else is a Band-Aid. Lori says, going for a walk helps, especially a power walk. It helps work out emotions. Lori, I really love nature in terms of this, in the context of this. And specifically, this is going to sound really weird, but like trees and mountains. Mountains obviously are not here in Ohio, but trees, very healing. Just being around, like walking through the metro parks. But I was going to say, going for a walk, I have intentionally had to like either leave my phone in the car or leave my phone in the house. I think that because we're always connected. So even when you go on walks, your mind's still like, you know.
Just be careful that your walk is not a distraction from feeling. If you're using that as your activity to connect with the Lord and feel what you're feeling, great. But if you're walking to distract yourself from your feeling, you're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, no.
You're feeling endorphins that will give you a temporary reprieve from the actual feelings you're dealing with.
No, because for some people, for me, it's journaling. For some people, you can go on a walk and process, like either pray or process emotions as you go on your walk. But you're right. If you're just doing it for the healing activity of walking, that could be a distraction in itself.
Yeah, like I listen to worship music and walk.
Yeah.
Like it's a way to like just let it move.
Yeah. Chad said, David says, and we're going to wrap up because we're late. David says,
they're doing a side conversation about humidity affecting your feelings.
We don't do that, but great.
What does Lori have for us?
Lori says, I'm so happy you guys have been talking about healthy expression of emotions and counseling. My prayer is that more people's eyes will be open to the benefits of working through difficult pasts and relationships and see how freedom lies on the other side.
Amen, Lori. Great point. Yeah,
very important.
Jannelle and I have been working through that very same thing. Because quite frankly, if what I'm describing to you isn't enough, Like if you're not able to be in a place where you can feel your feelings with the Lord and like be okay, go get counseling.
Yeah.
You need help. The Christian life is not designed to be done in isolation.
Go get counseling. For me, I'm in counseling, and as we talk about sitting in our
Finally.
feelings, I know.
Just
That's
kidding.
what my sister says. As we talk about that, I think for some people, I realize like a lot, it's probably going to change, but there are many sessions where she's not giving advice, but I walk out feeling so much better because just talking about the way I feel.
Well, yeah, you're
like
better.
bringing it out.
You're processing your feelings. You're allowing yourself in front of her with her guidance to feel what you're feeling.
Yes. Yeah.
Try to understand it.
And
You're
it's
not
like-
distracting yourself from it.
Like my sister said, and women, I know I'm not a man, so I'm just going to talk from a women's perspective. We end up a lot of times being the one, and my sister helped me see that, where people come to, like, we're listening. So it could be our husband or it could be the kids. And Giselle was like, you need somebody that's getting paid to just sit there and just listen to you. Like, you don't have the guilt of, am I making sure this is a two-way or I'm dumping all my stuff?
Right.
You know, I think even if you don't have urgent needs, just having somebody that's just there to just listen to you can be very healing.
One final thought for you. Somebody brought this up earlier in a comment about how, really all you need is the Bible.
Yes.
And what I'll tell you is that that's kind of true. I'll give you two examples. Number one, if you're using the Bible like for example, if you're sitting there and you're just letting your heart meditate on Psalm 34:18, where it says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. And you're saying, the Lord is close to me. I'm brokenhearted.
Yeah.
And you allow yourself to have the presence of the Lord with you in that pain, yeah, the Bible's a great resource for that. But if you think distracting yourself from your feelings by reading the Bible is going to help, I'm sorry to tell you that you're wrong. Let me give an example. When Lazarus died and his sisters came running up to Jesus and were super frustrated with him and sad about what had happened, and if you'd only been here, Jesus, this wouldn't have happened, did he say, wow, you didn't read your Bible? Did he go, hold on a minute, let's go to the synagogue and open up a Torah scroll and let's
Yeah.
read so we can feel better? No. You know what he did? He cried. They were crying, and he wept with them.
Yeah.
He didn't tell them to stop feeling sad. He didn't tell them, wow, you don't believe in me? Look, my goodness sakes, I'm about to raise him from the dead, you dummy. He just felt sad with them.
Yeah.
And his presence was with them in their pain. So the idea that the Bible is some sort of awkward Band-Aid that can allow you to ignore your emotions, I think is dead wrong and spiritually unhealthy.
Angie says, when my mom was sick and in the hospital, I would try to be the strong one for my siblings. So I would be stuffing my hurt and feelings. I had to learn to acknowledge my feelings. And listening to worship music allowed me to be able to feel and express my hurt. Not sure if I'm explaining this right, but I would find my spirit ministering to me through song during that time.
Yeah. No,
I like that.
Exactly.
And I
Good-
can
good call.
feel you with, not just as a mom and wife, but as an older sibling. Sometimes we're taught that or implicitly, or we are in positions where we have to do that a lot. Be the strong one.
Because you're so bossy.
But that's so unhealthy. Be the strong one.
Yeah.
You know,
Super
I
unhealthy.
felt like, oh, I got to be there for people. But it's like, dude, like, I got needs. And it feels selfish, but it's like dangerous. If I don't take care of processing my own stuff, you can end up stuffing things that come out later. So I get that, Angie, and I'm glad that you identified that. If you're passionate about what we're hearing, one of the things I want to mention is we've talked about this. These kind of conversations don't happen enough in the church because of an example of what you just talked about. Well, you got the Bible, or you can pray, which is true. But mental health is important and counseling is important. Share this stream. Put it on your Facebook page. Put it on YouTube. Put it on TikTok. Divide it up into a lot of 30-second videos. And just share it so other people hear
You don't
these
even know
things.
what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, I know. But just share this. This is important, and it could all it takes is one person hearing this and getting help if they need it, and not
It's
feeling
like what
guilty
Len
about
said.
it.
Hey, put up a review on TikTok.
Take a video of me. Put me on TikTok. I'm sick of this restaurant. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, y'all. We
All right,
love you.
peeps.